But next week we will be 11 o'clock, 102.7.
11 o'clock next week, the full hour show. The cricket boys will be 10 till 11.
And we're going to
right now, we'd like to wish them the best of luck, the all-out cricket show. Thank you very much. We're not encouraging you to gamble.
No.
We're encouraging you
to bet.
on Glissade.
Welcome to the program. I'm Michael Willisey, and I'm in a good position to state your beliefs. And if I don't do that, I'm in a sensational position to create your beliefs. But for the moment, I'm presenting the first in a series of all-out cricket shows on 3RRR. This morning, you'll be listening to Andrew Dodd, convicted jaywalker, Ross Witherspoon, head-banging, heavy metal orange person, Michael Wagner, street kid from a broken BLF home, and Melinda Kerr, somebody I'm sure to pin something on before this show is through. But before we go into the program, some people may find it offensive or shocking. I did, and that's why it's on my show. More in a moment.
But I hate cricket.
Are you bonkers, Dodsy?
He's gone round the twist.
Soft in the head. He's a few sangers short of the full barbecue.
What? That's a could-have-been joke. Are you loony?
He's not the full two bob.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
He's just said that. Are you dippy? He's gone nah.
He's missing a few marbles.
But I hate cricket.
Are you bonkers? He's gone round the twist.
The all-out cricket show. You'd be mad to miss it.
Thank you. Here I am down on the ground. I know you'd like to hear Tony Gregg bounce a coin off the pitch today, but I can't do a South African accent. Let's face it, who can? So I've substituted talent with lots of details for you, and I'm presenting Dodsy's Weather Wall, proudly sponsored by Kellogg's because I made it out of a cornflakes box. Yes, I can say reasonably confidently there will be weather of varying shapes and sizes on the ground today. There is some cloud and some sun. Well, more cloud than sun, really. That's not to say that the clouds are bigger than the sun, because if we stood them up next to each other, we'd see a vast disparity in the proportions there. The sun would dwarf the clouds into what we call non-entitydom. There will be 2.3 units of humidity. That's on a graded scale of 7/1 Kelvin, with a tangy yet subtle twinge which will send balls off with great refreshment. And now we turn our attention, if we can just move the camera down and to the right there, please. Thank you. To the players' comfort level, which is comforting a lot of players who are unique enough to be level-headed enough to understand what this level actually means. It's reading 17 at the moment. No, sorry, it's now 16. And doesn't it look pretty there with the Kellogg's logo gleaming in the sun, which you may remember is partially obscured by disproportionately smaller clouds. The Seagulls are waiting for the game, and Bay 13 is pruning itself for another day of cricket. So we go now to the central commentary position where the all-out cricket team are jostling for positions and practicing imitating the Channel 9 commentary team.
Good morning and welcome to the very first edition of not cricket bats and balls, but the all-out cricket show. And what a show we've got for you.
We've got news.
We've got views.
Tim Hughes.
And a whole lot more.
Not to mention total confusion. The punters thought they were going to be on.
We thought we were going to be on.
The heavy metal show thought we were doing segments for them.
And the breakfast show team, well, they just don't know what to think anymore.
However, amidst the furor,
The disarray.
The muckraking.
the irony,
The hypocrisy.
The contradiction.
the all-out cricket team still stands.
And we promise to put your fingers down the throat of cricket in the next 45 minutes. I'm Michael Wagner.
I'm Andrew Dodd.
And I'm Ross Witherspoon.
And cricket?
Remember, cricket.
Cricket. We love cricket.
And now?
It's time for a news flash.
And news just to hand. Timed well to coincide with the New Zealand tour of Australia at present comes the release of Trevor Chappell's new range of underarm deodorants, Le Naughty Chapelle deodorant. Stocks have been slow to sell in major stores, but Trevor's brother Greg has boosted sales by reportedly buying 10,000 bottles, later remarking, "I did it on the spur of the moment." Mick Ward, All Out News.
And now the segment that justifies the program. You've heard of a dialogue, now we're going to try a trialogue. The All-Out Cricket team goes into casual chat mode.
Thanks, Doddy. As probably everyone's aware, the second test was won by the Australians against New Zealanders at the SCG last weekend, probably thanks to a darn good and cool and concise innings from David Hooks, not to mention the good performances of spinners Holland and Ray Bright, as well as, at least that couldn't be combated even by the just recently flown in New Zealander Ian Bracewell, who thought or at least the newspapers thought he'd dug the Australian graves early in the test, but...
He is a gravedigger by profession.
That's right, but it turned out that he hadn't. Okay, the team for the second test is as follows.
The third test, Michael,
Sorry.
In Perth, which should start at about 2 o'clock this afternoon with daylight saving and the difference in times, the Australian team is Border, Phillips, Kerr, Boone, Ritchie, Hooks, Matthews, Lawson, McDermott, Gilbert, Holland and Bright.
It's a bit of a pity that O'Donnell couldn't make it into the third test team.
He's injured, isn't he, though?
That's right. He's injured with a bruised buttocks. Now, come on. I've played with 4 bruised buttocks and I played twice as well.
I suppose it's possible I've played with brucellosis.
Anyway.
The New Zealand team, who will also be playing at 2 o'clock in Perth this afternoon by coincidence, will be Coney, Wright, Edgar, Reid, Martin Crowe, Jeremy Crowe, Smith, Cairns, Hadley, Bracewell, Chatfield and Bock, or Book.
Is it actually Bock or Book?
Well,
because you spell the name B-O-O-C-K, don't you?
I think it's Bock, and until the end of spring it's also Springbok. I think it's time for another news flash.
Newsflash. Andrew Hilditch has signed up for a 3-week season with the Melbourne Theatre Company. He'll be starring in their new Christmas pantomime Peter Pan, playing the demanding role of Captain Hook. Director Kepler Jurgensen told me this week Hilditch had fitted in very well with his new role and was a great believer in method acting. Mick Ward, All Out News.
And in the third test, you may be forgiven for believing that, in fact, they're playing as they did on the second test on a New South Wales wicket. What's happening there, Mike?
Well, that's right. It's actually, rather than it being a traditional West Australian fast white pitch, 9 months ago, curator John Maley dug up some grass in New South Wales and sent it over to Western Australia, and he's implanted it there. I suppose it could be the ultimate game. No doubt it's been ripped out of someone's back garden, and it's the ultimate game of backyard cricket on the Wacker. But sort of what's happened there, from what I can gather, is I don't know why they needed a new pitch there, but regardless, it is a New South Wales pitch. They've spent $1 million on it, and hopefully it'll end up being a better pitch than the last one.
They've changed the angle of it too, so it's 12 degrees off.
That's right. It's 12 degrees north of the old square, which doesn't sound like much, but apparently that's going to affect the performance of swing bowling, because the Fremantle doctor, normally coming from behind the bowler's arm on the old Wacker pitch, is going to be 12 degrees from a different direction now, so that'll affect the swing bowling, which will probably help Richard Hadley no end, which is another pity. It's a pity again that Simon O'Donnell's on the side. Another thing about the New South Wales pitch is that, well, it seems to have been canned by just about everyone, including the person who put it there in the first place, the curator John Maley. At least Rod Marsh, the motivator for the third test, said that he's been watching the Sheffield Shield, and he says it's slow and low, and there'll be a real struggle for runs. Alan Border had a look at it, and he said you shouldn't play Test cricket on it for at least 12 months. The interesting one was actually John Maley, who said himself that it's not really going to be like the old Wacker ground where it was good for fast bowlers to play on it. He actually said speed is no longer a key factor, and then he went on to say, but neither is spin.
Yeah, so that doesn't leave much. Perhaps Trevor Chappell will have the wicket to himself. And I think it's time now to go to an interview that I conducted with somebody at a place called Parachilna. Parachilna has a population of 24. It's about 200 miles south of Maree, which is in South Australia. And I was there recently on a tour of South Australia playing cricket on several beaches, and in fact I culminated it all by having a game of cricket on Lake Eyre. And I went into this pub and saw up on the shelves an old cricket cup, which I thought was very interesting. So I interviewed the publican, John Duffy, about that cup. John, the Parachilna Cricket Cup looks like it's one of the great all-time Australian cricketing accolades. Can you tell me where it came from?
Oh, I think it was resurrected out of a rubbish dump, probably at Blenheim. It's an old commode, what do you call him, not the porcelain, the bunk enamel one. It's got chains and soup ladles and old padlock, the original padlock, that would be probably 100 years old sitting on it. And it's an annual cup played between Parachilna and Blenheim.
It seems like it's in a bit of trouble at the moment. It hasn't been played since 1980. What's going wrong?
Oh, I think trying to organise the numbers, Parachilna, it was won last in 1980 by Parachilna, and it's been sitting in the pub ever since. But they reckon we hold it by default now. They're trying to get it back, but I think there'd be a war if that happened. I think we've got to play the game for them to get it back.
Tell me, what's going wrong with the game? Why haven't you played since 1980?
Well, I've only been here 12 months, and to my understanding, we just can't raise the numbers to get a team. We did have a problem. There's a new bitumen road going through the local sports area, which housed the racetrack, etc., plus an oval, and the cricket pitch was on that. And although the new road didn't carve the oval up, it was felt that traffic-wise, it was a bad thing to still use the oval. We have since had another one graded just past the local primary school, and last year we laid a new cricket pitch on that. Well, actually, this year it was. We have invested in new matting and equipment, and we hope to have the game played sometime this summer.
Does cricket play a very important part of Parachilna's social life?
Oh, yes, no, it's just one of those annual events that gets everyone in the district together, that's all.
This is the All Out Cricket Show, isn't it, fellas?
Yes, mate.
Sure is.
And
mate.
it's 32 minutes past 11 on the very tightly run, sped-up version of the All Out Cricket Show. And now, here is the news.
Riotous scenes erupted in federal parliament yesterday when National Party leader and noted moral theologian Mr Chocolate Eclair suggested that the Commonwealth purchase several tactical nuclear weapons. Mr Eclair would not offer his opinion as to their possible usage, but made several mysterious allusions to Ayers Rock, the Indonesian embassy, and young men walking around Sydney wearing baggy trousers and with their hands in their pockets. Mr Eclair said that Australia was obliged to make the purchases under ANZUS, an acronym which stands for Australian and New Zealand United in Subservience. As we all expected, Prime Minister Pontius Pilate rejected the suggestion, delivering the following exhibition of adjectival virtuosity.
Look, let me say, in relation to the question we have before us, raised by the Honourable Mr Chocolate Eclair in the House recently, this government, my government, has neither a policy confirming or denying the issues before us.
Loosely translated, that means we'll have to wait until the electorate is stupid enough to fall for it. An important news flash has just come to hand. American naval forces have set sail for an invasion of Libya. CIA sources say that the fleet was last sighted somewhere north of Iceland. This strange choice of route is rumoured to be a part of President John Wayne's personal strategy, as he explained to reporters this afternoon.
We're doing all we can to catch those varmints by surprise, with their beans still boiling.
And now, a little bit of light relief. The rebel cricket tour of South Africa came to Johannesburg today with a press conference by Captain Kim Hughes. Mr Hughes, puppet strings chafing painfully in the searing heat of a sleazy downtown wine bar, said that the tour would soon be supported by the majority of South Africans in view of the government's policy of exterminating anything in bare feet. No one understood the true position of the South African blacks better than he. After all, he'd seen Roots twice, and he had a great Stevie Wonder collection. Anyway, said Hughes, who by this stage was swinging from a chandelier, let's not let a little thing like the truth come between us.
Thanks very much, Peter, for that very informative bulletin, and to keep you informed as well, as particularly of our opinions, here's an editorial from the LA cricket team discussing South Africa.
That's right, Mike. With all these scuffles with the punters, you could be forgiven for believing the all-out cricket team is on a rebel tour of the on-air studio. However, we are striving to be a part-eyed of your Saturday morning and suggest you don't both changing channels, because now we're going to spell out everything in black and white. 16 Australians called the A-team, A of course standing for apartheid, a manager, a physiotherapist, the instant conscience relief crack squad equipped with a barrage of reasons why they should be there, all stealthily trekked off to break the Glen Eagles agreement as the 5th tour of the country since sporting contacts were stopped with South Africa. This raises a number of issues. Firstly, should they be there? Whilst we believe they shouldn't be because they are legitimating the atrocities of the policies of apartheid, we do recognise the incredible hypocrisy of the criticism of the rebel tour when people like Darren Gauci rode in several horse races earlier this year and got away with little or no public comment, as did the Grand Prix drivers who drove in Adelaide, several of whom had raced in South Africa previously. And then there's Gary Cozier, the former Test cricketer who has recently toured South Africa to promote indoor cricket, a sport which, if my experience of it is accurate, is pretty elitist and probably only accessible to the white minority of the country. The media has centred lots of criticism on the rebel tour, which is good, we believe, but has ignored everybody else, and that in my mind is hypocritical. But what's worse is that on a national level, hypocrisy is really prevalent. Whilst governments understandably chastise tourists for breaking the Glen Eagles agreement, they are not, by and large, prepared to meet that criticism with action themselves by enforcing economic sanctions against South Africa. Despite Hawke's steps to be seen to be criticising South Africa, his attempts to ban imports and exports with the country have been only half-hearted, but at least he's made an attempt. Britain, meanwhile, has done lots to ban cricketers who go to South Africa, players like Graham Gooch and Jeff Boycott, but they've done nothing to further economic boycotts with them. At the recent CHOGM meeting, Thatcher was the only person who didn't support economic sanctions with South Africa, and that also, I reckon, is hypocritical. The media coverage in general has been hypocritical too. After literally every newspaper and electronic media criticised the A-team, now they delight in glorifying the whole tour. Take the Adelaide Advertiser's cricket writer Alan Sheil, who has been seconded to cover the tour for 7 Australian morning newspapers, like the Courier Mail, the Sunday Mail in Brisbane, and the Western Australian in Perth, the Mercury in Hobart, the Age in Melbourne, and the Canberra Times. He could well be a relation of the other Sheil. No, not Sheffield Sheil, Glenn Sheil, the former minister in the Fraser Ministry who was sacked for supporting apartheid. His support of the Adelaide Advertiser, his report in the Adelaide Advertiser on Thursday, November the 21st, typifies his view of the rebel tour. Its headline is, "You brave, beloved bastards. South Africa greets rebels," and it generally panders to the Australian team and supports their presence there, and suggests that 95% of the South African people support their tour as well. The All Out Cricket Show doesn't support the rebel tour, despises apartheid, urges you to go to the anti-apartheid benefit at the venue on the 12th of December, and doesn't want De Beers to sponsor us either.
Two, three, four.
Kimbar, 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 Kimbar. 'Twas down in deepest, darkest Africa. Who's the one that brought Test cricket shame? Who donates his blazer to South Africa? Kim Hughes, the rebel tourist, is his name. When we get in trouble and we're in a fight, who won't deny a million Kruger Rand? Who believes in selling out to apartheid? Kim Hughes, the white liar, is our man.
You're listening to the All Out Cricket Show. The time's about 20 minutes to 12, and now we have much pleasure in introducing Mike Ward, one of the outfielders of the All Out Cricket team, with a report on Sheffield Shield. How you going, Mike?
Dudsy. Well, the Sheffield Shield competition, the Vicks still can't crack it for an outright win. Of course, they've only scored one outright win in the past 3 seasons, but this year they've looked better than they have for quite a while. They went very close to beating New South Wales in Newcastle earlier this year, but their win against those arch rivals of theirs was dashed with a pitiful 78 odd in the second innings, chasing 160 for victory. The Vicks have claimed first innings points against Tasmania, Western Australia and New South Wales, and lie currently equal third on the Shield table with 12 points, alongside South Australia and New South Wales. Queensland heads the table with 16 points from only 2 games, and poor old Tassie is last.
Can I just interrupt here for a second, Mike? What exactly is this point system? How does it work?
Well, Mike, the team that leads on the first innings scores 4 points, and that's called a first innings win. And if either team can win outright, they score 12 points. So the maximum points that can be scored from a Chef Shield game is 16 points.
Clear as mud.
Thanks. The good news of Victoria is that they are through to the McDonald's Cup one-day semi-finals after their great win against Tasmania on Thursday. Defending only 210 runs, the Vicks, led by first-time captain Dean Jones, held the Tasmanians to 7 for 201. Peter Young hit up a great 83. Jonesy hilariously ran himself out for a duck. And Simon Davis bowled brilliantly, taking 1 for 9 in off his allotted 10 overs. Some of the Victorian players making their presence felt this summer include Jamie Siddons, who scored a few good 70s in Chef Shield matches, pace bowler Merv Hughes, who has captured 16 wickets already, and Simon Davis, who lies only second in first-class bowling averages this season to the great Richard Hadley. Good to see Ray Bright back in the Test team, and let's hope Jonesy can knock up a few good scores to press his selection claims. Also keep an eye out for Dennis Hickey, the Melbourne paceman. I saw him on Thursday night and he was very impressive indeed. He bowled very quickly and took 2 for 41. Upcoming matches around the country. India began its tour match against South Australia yesterday, and South Australia are all out for 135, with Sharma and Kepal Dev being the wreckers. In the McDonald's Cup competition, Victoria faces Queensland at the MCG on December the 11th in a day-nighter.
Who do you think will win that, Mike?
Well, judging on Victoria's performance the other night, Dodsy, I'd say Victoria's got a great chance. I think Border will be tied up with test duties on that day, so we're in with a great show, I think.
And Kepler Vessels will be playing for Queensland, though, won't he?
I think he will, yeah, certainly. Queensland versus Western Australia began yesterday, and Western Australia a mammoth 2 for 288 at stumps last night, with Marsh and Valletta both making centuries. And the upcoming Shield match, Victoria belays Queensland on Friday, December the 13th. And that's about it from Sheffield Shield this week, fellas.
All right, I'll catch you later then.
I'll just slip out now then, Dodsy.
All right then, and while Mike takes the long walk back to the pavilion, it's time to introduce young Rossi.
That's right, it's time for the weekly review. Where's my music? No music. Don't interrupt me, fellas. We've got to get through this. We've got no time. Tennis. McEnroe in Melbourne this week upended Melbourne journalist Jeff Easdown, pushing the Herald reporter onto a hotel lobby couch. The Herald editor, in defence, said, "I don't believe we were doing anything wrong. We weren't harassing him." A Tatum tantrum.
What about that? Channel 10 reported that as beautifully quoting that John McEnroe just threw a Tatum tantrum.
Yeah, they usually have those sort of sloppy lines. McEnroe had considerably more to say on that matter. But who was right, the Herald or McEnroe? Looking at the records of both, who knows? It sells papers. Wrestling. Hillbilly Jim. Sorry. Uncle Elmer's wedding. Where was it? Come on, Channel 10. You promised. Stayed up all night just to see nothing. Looks like the incident last week where Hillbilly Jim took a quote, a shellocking from Bobby the Brain, put a damper on the whole event.
What is it? Now, can I just clarify this, Rossi? Who's married to what? When?
Look, it's simple, Mike. Bobby the Brain was running for Manager of the Year, but unfortunately he didn't get it. So he got King Kong Bundy and Brutus Beefcake. No, it wasn't Brutus Beefcake, it was Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd to beat up Hillbilly Jim and Captain Lou Albano, who Hillbilly Jim had pledged his vote to Captain Lou Albano, and therefore got a shellocking. A shellocking is an American quote for being jumped on by a King Kong Bundy. Captain Lou became Manager of the Year, but the feud is on between the Hillbillies and Bobby the Brain.
What do you mean we didn't get to see a schlock gun wedding?
That sounds like the sort of line that Mean Gene would come out of. The saving grace of this show, which really does reach all-time levels of bad taste, like the audience spitting on the wrestlers, is the balding interviewer, Mean Gene.
He'd be something like the Jack Little of American wrestling.
Oh, Jack Little, I think, used to take himself a little bit seriously, but...
Took it very seriously, mate.
Mean Gene doesn't take it that seriously at all. He really comes out with some pearlers. And Gridiron, we didn't think we were going to get them, but we've just had a flash that the all-out Intelsat is working. We've had a lot of trouble with it. And now, here's Chuck and Bob. We apologise, but they're Americans. They can't help it. Chuck and Bob with the Gridiron.
Thanks, all-out croquet team. I'm Chuck of Chuck and Bob, the American commentators fame. And Bob...
I'm Bob.
...is Bob of Chuck and Bob, the American commentators fame.
Thanks, Chuck, the king of the schmutzers. Gridiron hits Aussie. It's big, it's bold, it's bodacious. It's going to be one big slam-bangler.
I couldn't have said that better myself, Bob. That Ithaca University degree in journalism, literature, and overhand hooter-flinging is shining through.
Thanks, Chuck, but back to the first inaugural Australian Bowl.
That's right. Could be sooner than you think. December the 7th at VFL Park. University teams. Texas Miners clash with the Wyoming Cowboys.
College kids!
College kids maybe, Bobby boy, but they look pretty mean.
How mean, Chuck?
With classmates like this, Bonzo would never have gone.
Gone where?
To college.
Are you calling me a bonzo?
Oh, what was it you graduated in? Wrestling?
You know how some people look like their pets, Chuck?
Yeah?
You must have had a pet prairie dog.
I'll ignore that, Robert. Oh, the action of a gridiron match, and gridiron clinics, and cheerleading clinics after the game, and
there's more.
Don McLean playing a few of his old tunes.
I love country music.
All on that natural Glen Waverly grass.
Give us time, Chuck. We've just telexed out for a load of AstroTurf, but AstroTurf or not, it'll be an event not to miss.
You're right. I'll be backing the Miners myself.
Why's that?
Well, those Wyoming Cowboys look a mite wimpy in comparison to the Miners.
You just said they look mean.
In one sense, sure, but,
credibility smashed. Chuck, my old schmutzy poo, contradictions abound. And you call yourself a commentator?
I wouldn't be so cocky if I was wearing pajamas.
It's not my fault. This new Saturday morning tart caught me out. Now, due to the magic of the all-out Intelsat, we have to do these reports in the middle of the night.
8 o'clock isn't in the middle of the night.
Enough already! I'm Bob.
And I'm Chuck, live, taking you back to the all-out croquet team. Is that your teddy or mine?
That's mine. Yours is the one with the floppy ears and only one eye.
That old Chuck, old schmutzy poo, he's been a bit of an eye chewer from way back, I think.
It's always good to hear from Chuck and Bob. They might even be in Australia next week. We don't know. We'll let you know. And that was the week that was weak. And now, let's take you to a time when we first let the all-out Intelsat up in the air.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Happy? Just 2.5 hours after the launch from Cape Canaveral, I'm bleeding well ecstatic, mate. The all-out Intelsat is up, thus bringing programs to the people of the outback of Australia. That means that the ordinary people of Waratah National Park can see programs like this, the ones that they've been missing out on for about 30 years.
G'day, Sonny. Nice day, isn't it? In this nice national park where something nasty happens every episode, but ends in a nice way.
G'day, Matt. Dad? Hammond? Ranger? Sir?
Where's your script, Sonny?
I don't have one, mate. Dad, no disrespect, you see, but I'm not working from one today.
What are we going to do then? Nothing exciting's happened so far.
Something always happens in Waratah National Park, Dad.
Yeah, perhaps someone's stealing wildflowers or animals for a change.
No, we've done all them, Dad. Perhaps Skippy can find a bong in the bush.
You just don't know what's going to happen in a national park, Sonny. We'll just have to wait.
Yes, but it's a nice day for waiting.
Sure is.
Hey, what's that?
It's Jerry in a submarine.
A submarine?
Ah, g'day, fellas. Don't worry about the sub. It's only a prop. I traded in the helicopter.
Why'd you go and do a darn fool crazy thing like that?
Because I had a great idea for a script.
Oh, things are looking up.
You can always trust Jerry, even though he's not my big brother.
Oh, that's right. And the plot unfolds just so henceforth. Skippy tells us in his own little language that he wants to meet animal heartthrob Flipper. We trade in the chopper for a submarine, and they finally get to meet.
Wait a minute. Who's going to be where? Are we going to have Skippy in the water or Flipper on land? A situation to which neither are accustomed, assuming they play their traditional roles of themselves.
No, it's all right. They can talk through the porthole. So Flipper can hear Skippy say, and Skippy, the lovable bush kangaroo, can hear Flipper flying there under saying,
That doesn't sound much like a dolphin to me.
Who cares? They've never seen dolphins in the outback.
This script's not going to work, you know.
Well, it's better than Skippy finding a bong in the bush.
Hey, what's that crackle? Is that coming from the submarine, Jerry?
I don't think so, Sonny. It's not in here. I think it's above us. It looks like it's the all-out Intelsat burning up on re-entry.
Oh, that's no good. It wasn't insured either.
I think I might go and terrorise some tourists again.
Not to worry.
7 minutes to 12 o'clock, actually, in the All Out cricket team's very inaugural show. And what do you think about that, Doddsy?
Look, the show's all right, but I don't know about the name. I need a name, fellas, an identity that the listeners can relate to, something that will mark my individuality, say who I am, a nom de plume with a ring to it. I need a name.
Dodsy's a good name. Dodsy?
No, you don't understand. I need an idiom.
Look, idiot is a good idiom, Doddsy.
Look, I think I've got it. Try this. Now on the All Out Cricket Show, we introduced the masked French cutter.
What's the bloody point of wearing a mask on radio, Doddsy? Nobody can see if you're wearing it or not.
They can't see, but faith in my